Close your eyes and imagine. You are inside a Soviet T-72 tank. The metal echoes like a mechanical heart. The smell of diesel oil invades your nostrils, heavy, hot, almost suffocating. The floor vibrates beneath your boots. Every movement of the engine feels like a roar trapped in a cage. Around you, only steel. Thick steel. Steel, they say, is impenetrable. Steel that, according to your superiors, can face any enemy. Throughout your entire military life, they repeated the same phrase: "This tank is invincible." You believe it, because everyone around you believes it, because this is not just a tank, it is the symbol of an entire nation. The T-72 was the red pride. Fast, simple, mass-produced, a steel hammer built to crush any obstacle. But that night, in the desert, something would change forever. At 3,000 meters away, silent like a modern ghost, a different rival waited. Not in greater numbers, not cheaper, but smarter. And it had a name: M1 Abrams. What happened that night was not just a battle. It was a clash of eras. The moment when laughter fell silent. The instant when technology surpassed quantity. The desert saw. The desert remembered. And the world would learn a bitter lesson. To understand this encounter, we need to go back in time. Cold War. Two superpowers splitting the world like pieces on a game board. The Soviet Union invested in numbers. Thousands of tanks, hundreds of armored divisions, ready to push through Europe if war ever began. Their philosophy was simple. If one tank fails, two take its place. If two fall, 10 arrive to replace them. The T-72 was born from this idea. Cheap to produce, easy to maintain, quick to train, a machine created to exist in overwhelming quantity. Meanwhile, in the United States, the mindset was different. They didn't want thousands of average tanks. They wanted fewer, but nearly perfect ones. And so the M1 Abrams was born, the one many Soviets mocked as an expensive monstrosity. Too heavy, too complex, too much technology. They laughed. They said a tank like that would choke on desert sand, that its sensors would fail, that electronics could never defeat steel and numbers. But there was something the Soviets didn't know, something built in secrecy, with unfamiliar materials, with sights that could see through darkness. A secret guarded by American technicians, engineers, and generals. A secret that would only be revealed under real fire. This secret had names: Chobham armor, thermal vision, APFSDS rounds. The world was about to change. The Soviets thought they understood the Abrams, but they didn't know the truth. Thermal vision. While the T-72 depended on light, flares, or the moon, the Abrams saw heat. It saw engines. It saw life. For it, night was day. It was like hunting with predator eyes while the enemy walked blind. Chobham armor. Layers of ceramic, steel, and secret composites. It wasn't ordinary armor. It was science forged into protection. A shell that would rip through common tanks simply bounced off. It exploded, but the Abrams kept advancing, as if wrapped in an invisible shield. Mobility and power. 60 tons, yet it moved like a trained beast. Fast traverse, auto-correcting aim, flawless stabilization. While the T-72 had to stop to fire, the Abrams shot on the move with precision. It was the future. But no one knew. Not yet.
1991, Gulf War. Endless sand, suffocating heat, starless nights. The Iraqi T-72s, trained, equipped, and guided by Soviet doctrine, advanced with confidence. They knew they were many. They believed they were ready. But at 73 Easting, something waited. Abrams tanks, hidden like panthers in the darkness, saw first. They saw everything. 2,000 meters, 2,500, 3,000. An Iraqi T-72 erupts before it even sees its attacker. Then another, and another. They try and fire, but they cannot see the enemy. When they shoot, their shells vanish into hot sand. The Abrams hunts, the T-72 struggles to survive. Real testimonies could appear on screen. It felt like a god of war. We never even saw what hit us. Iraqi soldier, post-war interview. It was like shooting on a range. They had no idea where we were. Abrams commander. Explosions paint the night. Orange, red, steel melting under fire. Turrets launch skyward. Ammo cooks off. The desert becomes the stage for a new kind of war. And on the other side of the world, Soviet generals watch in silence.
It was more than defeat. It was technological humiliation. Decades of Soviet confidence collapsed in minutes. Their star tank had failed. The Abrams, once mocked, had become the new standard. In the USSR, the shock cut deep. Analysts questioned the entire military doctrine. Engineers admitted they were behind. Generals reconsidered mass production as strategy. Allies began to lose faith. It was the end of an industrial era and the beginning of the digital age on the battlefield. War was no longer decided by steel alone. It was decided by vision, technology, intelligence. The M1 Abrams became the symbol of modern precision. The T-72 became a bitter reminder of overconfidence. But the lesson runs deeper. Never underestimate the enemy. Never rely on numbers alone. Because the price of military pride is paid in flames, twisted steel, and silence. The desert saw, and it did not forget, and neither did the world. To this day, the Abrams continues to evolve. New sensors, new armor, new ammunition. While many T-72s still fight, some upgraded, others nearly identical to those from that night. War changed, history changed, and it all began with a single, invisible shot fired from the dark.